Money FM 89.3, the best of Saturday mornings. Saturday morning sit down.
We are back with the Saturday morning sit down. This weekend, the HSBC SVNS
Sevens.
The sevens. Yeah, the rugby sevens are back in town at the National Stadium. And we're going to have Olympic gold medalists, France men's and New Zealand women's, and all kinds of things happening. Of course, this comes after the sevens in Hong Kong last weekend. So big sevens month here across the region. Joining us now to talk about what's happening this weekend at the National Stadium here in Singapore, Phil Wilkinson, the head of PR and communications at World Rugby. Phil, I believe you're at the stadium now. Is that correct?
I am indeed, and thank you very much for having me on the show. We are already in action here at the Singapore National Stadium.
Set up the weekend for us. What is everybody going to see when they head down to the stadium?
Well, guys, the HSBC 7 Singapore is really the ultimate festival of world-class sport, combined with music, food, and entertainment, with feel-good vibes. So let's start with the sport, which takes prime position. As you mentioned there, it's an Olympic sport. There's Olympic medalists left, right, and centre on show this weekend, including the gold medalists from New Zealand women and France men. So you can see them in the flesh. Rugby Sevens itself, if you've never seen it before, it's simple to follow. It's exciting. It's fast-paced. It's end-to-end. And it really mixes speed, strength, and skill. These are some of the best physical specimens on the planet, some of the greatest athletes that compete at the Olympics. It's 7 players per team. It's 7 minutes each way. So it's fast and furious. We have the best 12 men's and women's teams on show this weekend. And there's a lot to play for, as the league champions will be crowned here in Singapore for the second year running.
Fantastic. And just to give a sense for our non-rugby fans or even sports fans, just give a bit of context of how good this Argentina team is you have right now currently. Whatever analogy you want to use, they are the Tiger Woods, the Roger Federer, the All Blacks, the Lionel Messi of the Sevens right now. They are irresistible and they are on show this weekend, aren't they?
They certainly are. They're so solid in every department. They've won two events back-to-back, as you mentioned, Hong Kong last weekend, and they'll be putting on an incredible show, I'm sure, again this weekend in Singapore. I would maybe relate them to the World Cup football winning team of Argentina. They play with that same passion and flair and excitement. And I'd also, on the men's side, look out for Fiji, who were double Olympic champions before France won on home soil in Paris last year. And they are famous for exciting the crowds too. And then on the women's side, the women's rugby sevens is extremely strong too. New Zealand and Australia are famous for having epic battles, and they've produced some of the highlights of this season's tournaments, men's or women's. So those are the 2 women's teams to really watch out for.
Phil, if someone's not familiar with the sevens format or hasn't been to a sevens, maybe give just an example or an overview of what that is like. I remember for many years I went to the sevens in Hong Kong when I lived there, and I went to the sevens last year when they were here. It is really an exciting, fast-paced game, and you don't necessarily have to know the game or have a favorite team to enjoy it. Tell us your perspective on how anyone can really get down there and enjoy it.
That's exactly right. It's fast-paced. It really combines, I'd say, the skill, the strength, and the speed. So the speed of a sprinter, and we've got Perry Baker, one of the all-time top try scorers, returning for USA this weekend. And it really combines the strength of an ox, the strength of a lion, and then some of the skill, those offloads that you'll see from Fiji, and that footwork, that dancing footwork that you'll see from the likes of Madison Levi, who's breaking records galore for the Australian women this year. She scored 14 tries in Hong Kong just last weekend, so look out for her.
And also, people need to understand what a high-pressured, intense game each one is, because there's so much at stake, isn't there? Because you've got the pool stages, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've looked at the pools. In Pool A alone, you've got Argentina, South Africa, and Britain, and only one of them could make the semi-finals. And then on the other side, you've got Spain, Australia, Uruguay, all heavyweights, and only one of those can go through. So it's going to be such an intense knockout competition, isn't it?
That's exactly right. Every match, every point counts. Also, not just here for Singapore title and the glory here in Singapore. The teams are also playing to finish in the top 8 positions, which qualifies for the World Championship in LA next month. So there's a lot at stake this weekend. And off the pitch, there's a beach club to bring the good vibes. There's DJs, there's food market, there's a kids zone. This is the family-friendly, family-fun event on the series, and there's a local games corner too. So there's really something for everyone. We're expecting 40,000 attendance across the weekend, and day tickets are still available. It's just 10 Singapore dollars for kids, 50 for adults, and there's a weekend ticket as well, which is $17.50 for kids and $90 for adults. Either from Ticketmaster online or just rock up and buy on the door today and tomorrow.
That's one thing I'm going to praise you for, Phil, and no one's making me say this. I think your ticketing policy has always been fantastic. My daughter and her school friends, they go every year. They're going tomorrow. They absolutely love it. And I just feel that so many Singapore events, and I'm not expecting you to comment on this, but so many Singaporean events have unrealistic expectations of what the average family or the average teenager can afford. And yet you've put together year after year this affordable family package model. It's brilliant. How do you do that? How do you make such affordable tickets at such a big venue?
Well, that's great to hear, and I think engaging the families and the kids is a really important aspect for the future of the game. Obviously, Sevens is fairly young. We've been here in Singapore since 2016, which is the year that we joined the Olympic Games. So we're 3 editions in the Olympics. So it's really about spreading interest and excitement in the game, the short format of Sevens in rugby. And I would say if you are coming down with kids, make sure you bring your phone for selfies and your autograph pen for autographs, because the Rugby Sevens players, they pride themselves on being really interactive, really friendly. There's no big egos.
Good stuff.
In the Sevens. They love interacting with the crowd, so that's a key part of it.
We're talking with Phil Wilkinson, the head of PR and communications for World Rugby, talking about the HSBC Sevens this weekend, starting today and tomorrow at the National Stadium here in Singapore. Great fun, not only on the pitch, but outside. You heard all the events that Phil was talking about, and also including a lot of music performances. Alme Fernandez, who we all know, been on the show before. There's going to be Wicked Aura, Singapore's own sonic powerhouse, bringing their Afro-Brazilian rhythms, et cetera, et cetera. So there's really, it does sound like a really family-friendly and festive way to spend the weekend, Phil.
It is indeed. And just one other thing I should definitely mention for the Singapore fans listening to your show is that the women's team from Singapore qualified yesterday to the final of the Southeast Asia Sevens, which will take place here at the stadium at midday today. So if you're really quick and you're a Singapore fan, you can see them take on Malaysia in the final to become the champions of Southeast Asia. That's running alongside the World Series.
Absolutely wonderful. And there are a few tickets left. So for listeners right now in their cars, heading out, deciding what to do for the weekend, got the family to take care of. As I said, my daughter loves it. She goes down. She's not a huge rugby fan. She plays touch rugby at school, but she just loves the atmosphere of the Sevens. Try to paint a picture for our listeners of what that atmosphere is like from the moment you walk into the National Stadium.
That's it. From the moment you walk in, it's all about the feel-good vibes, the festival atmosphere, that mixture of world-class sport with the music, with the entertainment, with the food, with the games. And it really is something that everyone, young and old, men and women, can really get involved in. Fancy dress is often encouraged to bring that spirit. So don your wig or your costume and get involved in the atmosphere, and also get inspired by some of the greatest athletes of any sports in the world, and see Olympic medallists in the flesh here at Singapore National Stadium today and tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Phil, we are so excited to do that. I'm going to be down there tomorrow as well. Looking forward to having some fun in the afternoon. What time do the games kick off, and how late do they go?
We kick off on Sunday morning, early in the morning, from 9:30 onwards, and the finals, the grand final for women and for men, is from 7 p.m.
You probably won't see me there at 9:30 in the morning, but
we do kick off with the quarterfinals, so there will be some excitement in the morning, some great games.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much for being with us. Good luck this weekend, and we look forward to chatting with you again to see how it all turned out.
Thanks very much for having me. Thank you, guys.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.